Alright folks, welcome back once again. How are you all doing? So if you're doing fine, you should hit that like right now, right? And if you're not feeling that nice, or if you have just incurred some losses in the market as of now, you can go ahead, you can hit that dislike as well. You can take all of that frustration out of your head right here, right now. And with that said, guys, we're going to be talking about Pancakeswap, because once in a blue moon, such tweets are going to come up, not just with Pancake, but most of the crypto assets do have the burning mechanism going on, right? So we can see right here, October 18th, yesterday itself, you saw 5.6 million cake got burned, right? Essentially 5.6 cake just simply got wiped out of the existence as a whole. That was kind of $111 million as a whole. And beyond that, you had 240,000 cakes being bought back from the market in terms of trading prediction and NFT as a whole in this ecosystem. So you see some crazy amount of buying pressure going on, right? You can see a supply crunch happening. Now, essentially, the first instinct is going to be telling you that, oh my god, the supply of cake is getting shortened out. I should buy it right now, right here, right now. But there are a lot of more things which will come across this entire situation, guys. It's not just one single burning event that takes place. I think Pancakeswap is doing a good job telling everybody that cake is still inflationary as an asset overall. Now that means that cake's tokenomics as a whole is completely different from what we are looking at in this tweet as of now. What I mean by that is that you have 386,000 cakes being, let's just say these amount of cakes are in the tokenomics mechanism, guys. These things are distributed every single day for your LPs, for maybe your staking rewards, or maybe everything else, right? So all of these included in a 24-hour cycle, you're looking at 386,000 cakes being, let's just say, emitted out. And essentially, guys, look, what I mean by this fact right here is that we saw that 5.5 million cake got burned in the market. Essentially 2 weeks worth of supply, 2 weeks worth of emission coming from cake itself got chopped out. So we can see that in the small to mid time frames we have a little buying pressure going on, guys, because there's a lot of cake which is being bought back again from the market. And you can see, guys, the total emission right here is still, let's say, it's still not that less. It's kind of much, guys. It's kind of a lot of cakes being distributed every single day. It's kind of like 400,000 cakes being emitted every single day, guys. So even if you go for, I don't know, guys, 50 million cakes being burned in one single day, maybe that could even out a little supply demand mechanics as a whole. But the game right here is not about creating that immediate supply shock in the market. It's not about that. Most of the people who try to do that fail in the crypto market as well. I've seen that, guys. I've seen a lot of projects trying to do that, just try to create that supply shock in the market all of a sudden. And most of the people, they simply expect that supply shock to create a huge pump in the price action as a whole. But unfortunately, those things don't happen. Which is why I feel that Pancakeswap right is doing a good job at least telling everybody that we have 386,000 cakes being lent out every single day from the ecosystem as a whole, in terms of the grants, in terms of all the lending interest rates, and maybe every staking rewards as well. So, well, guys, you can go ahead, you can take a look at all of these deflationary mechanics right here, and they do have everything planned out, everything is sorted out. But in the small to mid time frames, we got 2 weeks worth of cake evaporated out of the market, which is why small time frames tell us that there is a potential supply shock coming in the line. But I think we can confirm that entire situation with the price action analysis itself. As you can see, we are kind of residing below this grind line for a very long time, guys. And on the 3-day time frame itself, this one looks to me like this one is really wanting to get, let's say, guys, this resolution will come out pretty soon, right? Most likely the resolution could come out to the upside because of the bullish macro environment as a whole in the crypto land as a whole, guys, which is why most likely the resolution could be coming to the upside from this entire squeeze right here. As you can see, this grind line has been there since, let's say, Bitcoin was trying to top out at $50,000, and this is where cake has been, let's say, has been trending exponentially to the upside. For the time being, this one has been accumulating for 6 to 9 months right here, which is why, guys, any accumulation that takes place for maybe 3 to 4 months is going to have a crazy resolution to the upside or the downside. But the resolution which comes out of, I don't know, 3 to 5 months long accumulation is for good. That resolution is going to be there for good, which is why, guys, most of the indicators as of now are pointing fine, mostly fine, guys. We don't have the TSI cross to the upside, but essentially this is on the 3-day time frame itself. We do need one single bullish engulfing candle clearing this entire sell range. to maybe convert this TSI back into bullish control zones. But for the timing, the RSI is kind of slipping and sliding to the upside, and this one is looking fine as of now, although I'm not a fan of this piece of structure right in the RSI itself. But to be honest with you, this is looking completely fine, guys. So which is why in the small to mid time frames, you can be managing your risk below this price point right here. Essentially, cake going below $17.5 levels is kind of like a red bell, would be most likely like a red bell in the small to mid time frames. And essentially, if you resolve out of this grind, the first target is going to be 26, guys. This one is a no-brainer right here. Complete good looking structure being resolved to the upside means that you will have your targets at the top side of the range right here, which is going to be your $26 ranges, right? And essentially, let's talk about this entire range potentially resolving to the upside. Then you can look forward to maybe 1272 or maybe 1618 as well. Now, guys, there's one more thing. I do believe that the overall price action structure on cake really depends a lot on how BNB is performing in the market, right? Which is why, guys, we'll talk about cake against BNB as well. But before that, we can simply wind up this video right here in terms of the USD price action comparison. And well, beneath the 200 simple moving average, not an immediate threat for an upside expansion coming down the line as of now, but until you're residing below the 200 simple moving average as of now, most likely you will spend some time right here, and you really at least want to establish a daily trend above the 200 simple, guys. Now this red line right here is the 200 simple moving average right here. You can lay this on your chart for your own, and most likely these bigger moving averages will give you better and more accurate information, guys, way more accurate than maybe your 21 moving average or 10 moving average as well for that matter. And essentially this one is at $20, guys. So yep, you got a round figure. You got to completely curate a situation and a good technical landscape for cake as a whole. Clear-cut indication to the fact that $20 is kind of like a supply zone in the small time frames, but with all the cakes being burned in the market and all the cakes being bought back by the ecosystem as a whole, could create some supply demand shock, right? Could create some essential supply shock in the small to mid time frames, which could essentially take the price action to the previous all time high, which could be a $40 cake coming pretty soon down the line. Now, if I were to be long on cake, I would be very vigilant below $17.5 levels, and essentially that would mean that I would be having my stop losses. I would be essentially okay to get stopped out below $17.5 on a daily opening and a closing basis. And as far as this one is holding on to these levels right here, we could be potentially looking at a further continuation move to the upside, and most likely this range will resolve to the upside. Well, good news for all the cake holders, I do believe, until you're holding $17.5 levels. Okay, with that said, let's just quickly jump into cake against BTC at first, and then we're going to talk about cake against BNB, guys. Now, cake against BTC is not looking that nice, to be honest with you. Most of the altcoin pairs, even the large cap altcoin pairs, are not looking that nice against Bitcoin, guys. Remember, whenever there's a Bitcoin dominant environment, altcoins are simply going to pave the way for Bitcoin, which is why you see these nasty ass rejections coming from the 21 simple moving average itself on the daily time frame, which is why you have this continuous downtrend. Right now, essentially, guys, would I be trading cake against Bitcoin? Essentially not. The only thing which I would be interested in trading against Bitcoin most likely is going to be Ethereum or Solana for that matter. Now these small crypto assets, alright, not that small. Essentially, who the fuck is that small if you talk about the market capitalization? And specifically for this one right here, you got $5.5 billion flowing into this entire ecosystem as a whole. So most definitely this is not a small crypto asset for that matter, which is why this most likely will move with your major crypto assets. And by that I mean that cake against BTC will most likely trend with Ethereum against BTC. Essentially, wait for Ethereum against BTC to get bullish back again in the market, which is when cake against BTC will start sorting its way all the way towards the upside once again. I do believe, guys, this is what's going to happen, and most likely this is how most of the altcoin cycles also play out as a whole, right? So cake against BNB, real quick, let's see what's going on right there. Cake against BNB on the daily. All right. Now this one is kind of looking like Bitcoin. To be honest with you, this is completely looking like Bitcoin pairs, guys. Now cake against BTC, cake against BNB, both of them are looking completely similar. So what can cause that momentum move to the upside? I don't know, guys, maybe a sideways chop on BTC, maybe a sideways range formulation between, let's just say, $65,000 and $55,000, which is where Ethereum will go for a little breather in the market, which is where maybe cake against BNB and cake against BTC will also pick up in the market, guys. Now, culmination of all of these pairs will result into good looking price action on the USD pair itself, which is why if cake against BNB and cake against BTC is bullish in the market, most definitely cake against USD will be extremely bullish in the market, guys. Now that is gonna be most likely it for this video. I do believe that these were my 2 cents on cake as a whole. And if you like the content, hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'm kind of losing my words right now, guys. I'm pretty much exhausted from a very tiring day, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna catch all of you pretty soon in the next video. Bye for now.